Dylan, I'm curious if you could describe maybe just like what's the main challenge that you have writing the book right now?
Uh, it's juggling a lot of things at the moment because I'm
Sure.
very busy. Like I play two instruments. I play cricket, I play rugby, and also with school, it's quite a long drive because I don't actually live in Birmingham, so I have to take like the bus. So it's usually that I really want to work on this project, but just don't have the time to do so.
Makes sense. Yeah, that sounds tough. I do think so. If we think about like this is a novel, right? It's fiction, not nonfiction. Is that right?
Yeah, it's fiction.
Awesome. So, have you ever heard of Novel Crafter before?
Uh, no.
Let's talk about Novel Crafter because I think this might be relevant to you. So let me share my screen real quick. I think that's probably the easiest way to do this. So if you think about writing a novel, right? A novel is a variety of different workflows, right? You have to actually write the manuscript, but also you maybe have to outline. You have to make sure that characters are consistent from, one chapter to the next or one book to the next if you decide to make a series, right?
Yeah.
If you I think like using AI to do the creative aspect that you're doing, I think is maybe, not necessarily the right use for AI. But maybe there are ways to offload some of these things that feel more boring or more like organizational tasks that take time. You can offload those things onto an AI tool. So Novel Crafter is a deployment of AI that's focused specifically on novel writers. Okay. So
Yeah.
for example, right, as you write, it assembles what's called a codex. And the codex is basically, for instance, characters, places, important objects that are kind of defined in your world. And then it helps you understand, oh, for instance, I'm doing something weird with this character because previously I said they were here, and now I'm saying that they're there. And I never explained how it is that they got from here to there, for
Yeah.
example, right? Um, uh, and it builds like a wiki. The codex is like a wiki of what the of your characters and your world. The other thing that I've seen people use Novel Crafter for is to help them outline. I mean, I don't know what your experience has been, but for me, if I outline first, I'm often able to write much faster because I can move from like one outline point to the next faster than if I'm trying to write without an outline. Have you ever had that experience, or what do you think?
Yeah, so do you mean like the outline is in like the planning stages where you're just
Yes.
yeah, I think planning really helps because right now I've spent a lot of time planning out the characters and the book because I find I'm the same as you because I find that the planning stage is really important and then I can write more freely because sometimes when I don't plan, uh sometimes I'm out of my ideas, but I call them like the creative juices. I just want to keep them flowing, and the points and planning that they really help with the book. So I agree.
That makes a lot of sense. So, for example, I think what a lot of novelists use this for is specifically that planning phase because they're able to assemble this kind of like you see these cards here, right?
Yeah,
I have this scene, I have this event, like should I move it to chapter 2, should I move it to chapter 1, right? And once those puzzle pieces get into place, you're able to go and I think write more freely. So I'll show you something else here in a second, but this would be probably my first recommendation to just check it out because
yeah,
maybe you can get more out of the limited time that you have with a tool like this because it'll help you organize and then you can keep the creative juices flowing in the little bit of time you have to do it.
yeah.
I'll have Sunny I'm sure can share this link with you afterwards. I would
Yeah.
like to show you one other thing, Dylan, that might be of interest. So when I was your age, I was obsessed with choose your own adventure books. I don't even know if these are still a thing, but they were books where you would like turn to a page, you would read a scene, and then it would be like, turn to page 40 if you do this, or turn to page 30 if
Oh
you do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know
I've
what I'm
read.
talking about?
Yeah,
So to learn about a new AI model, I made this little prototype of a choose your own adventure book, and maybe it's something that is kind of interest for you from the standpoint of kind of how you might use AI to get the creative juices flowing. So the first step in this software is to pick a premise for the book. So here's 3 suggested premises. We could pick one of those, or do you want to give a custom premise for the story?
I think let's choose the I'm a bounty hunter one.
Awesome. That's funny. That's the one that I was going to choose too. So, okay. So then what this software does is it's going to give me a protagonist. And it's going to help me think, who would be a cool character for this? Okay, so here's Silas Blackwood, former Texas Ranger, et cetera, with a bunch of the backstory on, why this character might be interesting. And then using AI, I can obviously go and I could maybe revise this person, right? I could change their backstory. I could change how they look. I could change their personality, right? So I'm just going to go ahead for the sake of time and say, let's just use this character so we can get into the story, okay?
Yeah.
Now, the next thing that the AI is going to do to help me think through the premise of this story is to give me an aesthetic, right? A kind of sense of what the art style might be, what the world might be, right?
Yeah.
And the title. So in this case, what it did was it generated me this character portrait of this. He looks like a pretty scary bounty hunter as far as I can tell. And then it's going to give me the opening scene. And this is really the step that I wanted to get your input, okay? The kind of concept here, Dylan, is because of how AI works, you can make infinite choices, right? I can do anything. I could do anything no matter how chaotic or how strange it might be, right? So this is giving me now my opening scene, and now I have the option to do anything that I want. So if you want to give it a quick skim, Dylan, what should the character do next?
Okay. I think maybe I'd circle around for a better vantage point just to see, because I don't want to go blind.
All right. I circle around for a better vantage point because I don't want to go in blind. Seems like a very sensible choice.
I'm playing it safe.
A prudent bounty hunter. That's right. So now the AI will bring a new scene to us based on the choice that you have made. Now, I'm showing this to you, Dylan, just as an example of the other software, right? Was, let's say, it was more kind of on the organization side of things. It was like the boring part of writing where you just have to assemble things together. But what I find kind of fun about something like this is a little bit more on the creative side, where you could workshop different scenarios, different choices, different ideas, right? And branch out any way you want as you explore a storyline.
Yeah.
And so here we are, based on your choice, the bounty hunter's now in a new vantage point. There's a new character that shows up here.
Yeah.
And off we go. So I think just because we want to get to some other participants, I will have to wrap this one here, but I hope that it's at least given you some inspiration for how AI might apply to your workflow.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's fun. I could play with that for hours.
Yeah. I know. I believe me. I get it. I get it.
Thanks, Zach, and we'll pick up some of these threads, Dylan, when we do our next session as well.